The NHL Draft Lottery is less than a week away, so in today's video, I thought we could play around with the draft simulator to see how the draft lottery results might turn out. And then we're going to complete a mock draft for the first 10 picks. And that's coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, today we're doing an NHL Draft Lottery Simulator, followed by a mock draft for the top 10 picks coming up for this draft this summer. Now the actual real draft lottery results will be announced here shortly. We're less than a week away. On the evening of April 28th, the draft lottery results will be televised and revealed, and we'll know who's picking where, so there won't be any more guesswork on who will pick in what spot, and then we can start speculating a little bit more solidly on who's going to be picked by what team. But for right now, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at a draft lottery simulator here. We did this video before where we looked at the simulator as well, and it was a lot of fun. So I thought it'd be interesting to take another look at it again to see if the things turned out any differently. And when I ran this simulator, the teams came out in a very, very different order than before. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at who these teams may pick if they actually end up in this order. Now, before we jump into the top 10 results, I just want to remind everybody, if you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We're getting very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, and we have a big giveaway plan for that milestone when it's achieved. There is information down below in the description discussing the giveaway. So if you're new, I hope you consider subscribing for the content and to be taking part in the giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. Moving along here, let's take a look at the draft simulator and how the results turned out. Certainly a lot of interesting teams moving up and down in the list. And then once I go through this, we'll take a look at who I think each team would pick should they come out in this order. Now, the three teams that won the lottery, number one was the Montreal Canadiens, going first overall. Number two ended up being the Vancouver Canucks. I know a lot of Canucks fans should be happy about that. And our other videos where we've talked about the draft, Canuck fans seem to be quite frustrated, or they haven't been able to get higher than a top 5 pick, and they haven't had very good luck in the draft lottery recently, so hopefully maybe that's a sign of things to come. And the number 3 spot was the Arizona Coyotes, which is where they would be as of right now, so there's no movement there for the Coyotes. Number 4 was the Buffalo Sabres, who end up dropping down 3 spots with an unlucky lottery pull. Number 5 is the Ottawa Senators, who also moved down 3 spots. Number 6 is the Detroit Red Wings. Number 7 is the Chicago Blackhawks. The number 8 pick belongs to the New York Rangers. And the number 9 pick goes to the Edmonton-Oilers. And the number 10 pick to the New York Islanders. So the 3 lucky teams here obviously were the ones who won the lottery, which were the Montreal Canadiens, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Arizona Coyotes. So now let's jump in and take a look here at who would be picked in each spot. I'm going to start with the number 10 pick and work our way up. Obviously, the number 1 pick likely won't be any surprise to anyone, but let's start here at number 10 and work up from there. The number 10 pick with the New York Islanders, I have them selecting center Joseph Veleno from the Drummondville Voltigeurs, also played for the St. John Sea Dogs. Spent most of his junior career with the St. John Sea Dogs, was traded to Drummondville this year, had another tremendous season. Veleno was an exceptional pick that allowed to go into the Major Junior League at the age of 15 instead of 16. He's had a pretty solid career. It's kind of been up and down in the rankings this year, but as the season's kind of come to a close here, he's kind of crept back up. I've seen him ranked anywhere from really 10 to 20, depending on who you ask and what list you're looking at. And for me, I've kind of had him in the middle of the pack. But I think based on the other players that are going to be available at the number 10 choice, I can see him kind of sneaking up there and the Islanders grabbing him where he's a center iceman. They're hard to find. There's not a lot of great centers in this draft. At least in the first round, there's only going to probably be 3, maybe 4 go in the first round. So I think I can see the Islanders grabbing Veleno here. It's a little bit of a sleeper pick. I think they're going to surprise a few people taking him at number 10. But I think they won't be disappointed. I've seen this player play in person a few times. He's a tremendous talent, and I can see him sneaking up into the top 10 here as the draft approaches. The number 9 pick belongs to the Edmonton Oilers. I have them taking the top-rated center iceman in this draft, who was Oliver Wahlstrom from the U.S. development program. Wahlstrom had a tremendous season this year. He ended up with 89 points in 40 games. Shows a lot of offensive instincts. Great vision on the ice, great hockey sense, great passer, great shot. Like, he really has a bit of everything. He's a tremendous player. Now, he's a player, though, that anybody who drafts him is going to have to be a little bit patient. He has committed to playing for Harvard next year, so he's going to go to university. I'm not hard to say how long he stays there, but more likely more than 1 year. So any team, like I said, that drafts him is not going to get an immediate jump to the NHL, which he may not be ready for either. He's one of the younger players in the draft. He's a late birthday, so he barely qualifies for this draft. So he'll be going to Harvard for at least a couple of years probably, and then work his way up to the NHL from there. But I can see the Oilers taking him and being patient to wait a while to get him in their lineup. The number 8 pick belonged to the New York Rangers, and I have them selecting from the QMJHL Acadie Bathurst Titan, Noah Dobson. Dobson had a tremendous year, averaging more than a point per game as a defenseman in the Q. Tremendous offensive instinct. He's good size, 6'3", pretty quick. Pretty good two-way player. Like, he's good in his own end as well. Dobson's had a lot of praise. There's a lot of great defensemen here available in this draft, and the order that they are selected in could certainly change. There's 5 or 6 good, pretty solid defensemen here that go in the top 10, 12 picks. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the 2008 draft, where there was a lot of great defensemen available as well. Defensemen are certainly going to dominate the first round, at least the early part of the first round for sure. But Dobson, I can see him going to the Rangers. The number 7 pick, the Chicago Blackhawks, I have them selecting another defenseman, Evan Bouchard from the London Knights. Bouchard had a monster of a season offensively. Bouchard ended up with 87 points in 67 games for the London Knights. Obviously has a great coach there in Dale Hunter. They produced a lot of great players out of that London program. Bouchard had an opportunity early in the year to really take on a much bigger role. Some of his teammates ended up going to the World Junior Championship tournament, so they were gone for an extended period of time, whereas he did not. So he get to stay back, take on a bigger role, get a lot more minutes, and really develop into a tremendous offensively gifted defenseman. He's already had a lot of those skills, but he had the opportunity to have more ice time, play a bigger role, and I think it worked out great for him. It's unfortunate he didn't get to go to play for Team Canada, but at the same time, next year is certainly a possibility for sure. Hard to say if he jumped right to the NHL. He may play another year with junior, but if he does play another year junior, I'd fully suspect him to totally dominate and probably be a force on the World Junior Championship tournament as well. The number 6 pick belongs to the Detroit Red Wings, and the number 6 pick belongs to the Detroit Red Wings, and I can see them going with a homegrown talent in Quinn Hughes. Obviously, Quinn Hughes is an American-born player going to the University of Michigan. I can see them. This is another player like Wahlstrom they're going to have to be patient with. It's not a player that's going to jump right into their lineup. He is going to be playing the university ranks probably for at least 1 or 2 more seasons. But Hughes has had a tremendous season, had 29 points in 37 games this past year. But Hughes is a tremendous talent. Arguably, probably, depending on who you ask, there's as far as defensemen in this draft, a lot of people have them ranked anywhere from the 2nd best, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Like, there's a lot of great defensemen here, but I can see the Red Wings and Hughes being a good match for each other. So hopefully that works out. Number 5, with the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators would select Adam Boqvist out of Sweden. Boqvist is another tremendous offensively gifted Swedish defenseman. Not quite as strong as his counterpart in Dahlin, but Boqvist is not a bad second choice at all. He's a little bit smaller than some of these guys. He's a little shy of 6 feet tall, but overall, and he's a little thin as well. The Swedish guys are both lacking some size that way as far as muscle goes, but that's all right. They make up for it with their hockey sense, their instincts, their quickness, and their ability to be offensively gifted with the puck. So I think he'd be a tremendous fit in Ottawa. The number 4 pick belongs to the Buffalo Sabres, and I have them selecting Filip Zadina out of the Czech Republic, playing for the Halifax Mooseheads in the QMJHL. Zadina is another player I've had an opportunity to watch in person. Tremendous talent. He can play left wing. He can play center as well, but I think he's better as a winger. Pretty good two-way player. Good on both ends of the ice. Really one of the best pure snipers in this draft. 40-goal guy in junior. This guy is going to be a tremendous hockey player at the NHL level. I can see him going straight to the NHL this fall. The number 3 pick with the Arizona Coyotes, I have them selecting the left winger out of Boston University, Brady Tkachuk. Obviously, there's a lot of history with the Tkachuks and the Coyotes organization, so I think he'd be a perfect fit there, following in his father's footsteps. I would fully suspect Tkachuk to end up probably playing another season in the NCAA before going to the NHL. But Tkachuk basically is a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger and a little bit more of a finishing touch with the offense than his brother Matthew, playing for the Calgary Flames. So Tkachuk should be a tremendous NHL talent. Just obviously, like his brother and his father, has a tremendously physical and offensive game. The number 2 choice belongs to the Vancouver Canucks, and I have them selecting from the The number 2 choice belongs to the Vancouver Canucks. I have them selecting sniper out of the Barrie Colts organization, Andrei Svechnikov. Svechnikov is arguably the best pure sniper in this draft, probably just a touch ahead of Filip Zadina. At some point earlier in the year, it was speculated that he may give the number 1 choice, Rasmus Dahlin, a run for his money be the consensus number 1 overall choice. But as the year has gone on, Dahlin's kind of separated himself to most likely be the clear-cut number 1. But Andrei Svechnikov is not a bad prize for being the second pick at all. Svechnikov is a pure talent, pure sniper, and I suspect he would go straight to the NHL and have an immediate impact as well. You throw him in with a lot of these other Canuck prospects up front, and that Canuck team in a few years should be pretty darn dangerous. The number 1 choice, as I mentioned, belongs to the Montreal Canadiens, and they would have no problem selecting the generational talent out of Sweden, defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. That would certainly be a game changer for the Montreal Canadiens, I think, as it would for just about any franchise lucky enough to draft this kid. But if you look at the Habs, one of their biggest issues this year, the Canadiens really had a lot of different issues on the go this year. They didn't get consistent goaltending out of Carey Price. You can certainly expect that to bounce back because obviously, he is a very talented goaltender. They've had trouble scoring and they've had trouble defending. And it's hard to say what they're going to do this summer to kind of address some of those needs. But drafting a talent like Dahlin would certainly go a long way to strengthening the back end and making things a lot stronger back there. And it would be a game changer. Like I said, any franchise lucky enough to get Rasmus Dahlin, where he's a top stud number 1 defenseman, is going to be extremely, extremely fortunate. So again, if you're new to the channel, hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 teams. We're very much looking forward to the draft. We do a lot of prospect videos and a lot of draft related videos. So if you missed any of our previous videos on that, there will be a link on the end screen for a playlist of top prospect and draft related videos for 2018. There's going to be lots of coverage coming up as we approach the draft this summer. Obviously, there's going to be a video coming out once the draft lottery is actually officially completed, and then we'll be doing more as we approach the draft later on in June. If you haven't done so already, consider following us on Twitter. You're going to find our Twitter handle on the screen right here. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, and all of our social media links are down below in the description. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.